Hi, my name's Danny Hickling and I'm one of the business partners from Little Gems Rockshop.co.uk and Little Gems in Cromer, and I'd like to show you the difference today in identifying amber, the difference between amber and carnelian. So I'm just going to show you a couple of examples. Now the reason I'm showing you the differences between amber and carnelian is because on the Norfolk and Suffolk beaches both minerals do occur, and there's often a lot of confusion between these two and also flints as well. On the left hand side here I've got a piece of amber, and you can see as I tilt it, this is the side I'm showing here is the rough side, which is, if you're lucky enough to find amber, an example of how it would look. Don't know if you can kind of see the glistening to the right hand side, and these glistens are caused by chips on the amber, little fractures which are called conchoidal fractures, which are essentially the same as the chips you'll get on flint. So they're slightly curved and eggshell like. So as you can see, amber on the outside tends to be quite dull. It's been buffed up slightly to show a slight luster here, but where it breaks it's got quite a brilliant luster. Now this is a fractured side of a piece of amber. You're not likely to get a large fractured side like this, because after time, of course, this fracturing is soon worn smooth by the sand to this more kind of opaque look here. So you can see this is kind of quite a buttery colour, but you can get clearer specimens as well of amber, and up towards the edge here it's a little bit clearer. Now the easier way to tell the difference between this and the specimen which I've got on the right hand side, the carnelian, is the carnelian. I've got an example here that is slightly red, but you can actually get a red amber too. But there is a big difference between the two, the main one being the hardness and also the density and the weight of it. The specimen on the right, and of course I can't show you this very well, is very light. The carnelian on the right, is a lot heavier. The amber is actually so light, you often probably heard that it will float in salt water, and it does, but it has to be quite a concentrated salt water. You have to actually get hot water, put an awful lot of salt in it, and then it starts to kind of not completely float, but just bobble around a little bit in the salt water as it moves around. The carnelian, of course, being a stone, just sinks straight to the bottom. The carnelian, I've showed a rough specimen here, but tends to be quite water worn, and when polished makes a nice polished stone. So both of these are essentially gemstones, the amber and the carnelian. The amber, as you may well have read, is about 40 million years in age. It comes from derived from the Baltic in towards Latvia. Of course, that's where it's in modern days mined. It used to be quite abundant here in the 50s and 60s and 70s. It's getting quite hard to find, but occasionally people do find quite substantial specimens and bring it into the shop. Now, I said the first thing is the weight, so that's kind of quite apparent. The amber also is a lot warmer to the touch because it's a resin, which is actually a tree resin. The carnelian is a lot colder to the touch, so that's another difference. The easiest difference of all is the carnelian will not scratch with a penknife. Be careful with your fingers though, but the amber does. Another difference is if you actually tap amber together, it's got very dull sound. Don't know if you can hear that. And the flint is a very sharp, stony sound. So that's several differences. You've got the weight, to some degree you've got the colour, but the colour can range from buttery through to red, so that's not the biggest clue. You've got the touch, the tactile nature of it, the fact that it feels warmer to the touch, and it audibly sounds different. But it also, the amber, you can scratch with a penknife. That's a real big indicator. Carnelian, you just can't. Anyway, I hope that's helped a little bit. The one last thing there is to distinguish amber between man-made resins. This piece here looks like amber. It's very light, and at first glance you can easily be fooled. This, however, is a man-made resin. This one turned up, actually, this particular piece, in Shetland, so I'm not sure, but I'm wondering if it's a resin to do with the oil industry. But you put a pin into this, a red hot pin, obviously hold up with pliers, and it comes up with a very acrid smell. So a lot of the false ambers, which have been obviously put there to fool us, can be distinguished here, because you put a red hot amber into fake amber or into man-made resins, and it usually smells acid, acrid and plasticky. The amber, however, has a lovely piney scent. Anyway, I hope that's helped a little. If you want to see any of these specimens, of course, we've got a shop in 2A Mount Street, Cromer, and our website is littlegemsrockshop.co.uk.